What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Itz-Beez-Da, TrackStar, and welcome back to another Dancehall video tutorial. Now this video, now I'm building a rhythm. We're not doing a melody, we're not, we just basically I gotta go through and set up FL Studio. Or I'm not gonna show you how to set up your FL Studio. Just like how my FL Studio setup is me. So there are a lot of things where I feel like I say beneficial for have set up in a FL Studio because it help you a lot as far as workflow and all of that type of stuff. So I'm just go through all of my settings, copy it if you want. You don't have to. I'm just show you an efficient way how to work. You understand what I say? And I'm going to go through certain shortcuts as well. You see me? So every day I might go on 25-30 minutes, but trust me, I'm not sitting where you want to skip nothing because you're going to learn some things. You see me? So I'm going to go off at the top of my head and I know I'm rear. So if I forget something, maybe me put it in the comments or whatever. But let's get started. So the first thing we're going to cover, we're going to go over options. So I go up options, we're going to click MIDI settings. Boom. We're not going to touch nothing up at output. We're not going to touch nothing down at input. Right, that's why I say auto accept, that's supposed to turn on. Foot pedal controls note off, that can stay on. Boom. We've done this, so we'll go audio. Your driver device always should be set to FL Studio ASIO. If you have an interface, you can use that as well. But with FL Studio ASIO, you can press buffer length and then you can set your input to your interface anyway. So it's not a situation where you have to use the interface. You can use it within the FL Studio ASIO. So you would have set default input to my interface is a Zengo, so you would have set it to Zengo input, and then output would have set it to Zengo output 1 and 2. You see me? So I just have it on default because for my computer, my default audio is my Zengo anyway, so it don't really matter. Buffer length, when you have build rhythm 2048, when you when you have build rhythms, so if you have a MIDI keyboard, you want to keep it around 256. You see me? Because you can play the notes on it almost instant. If you have it at 2048, you're going to have like a little bit of a lag, little bit of a delay. And sometimes, that going to mess you up because you hear the delay while you play and that will show you off. So 2048 when you mix, 256 when you build rhythm. If you play keyboard, me not playing a keyboard, so I left mine at 2048 by default. Mixing buffer switch, turn on. Triple buffer, turn on. Priority, highest. Safe overloads, turn on. Playback tracking, hybrid. And I also which part it says CPU. All 4 of them are supposed to turn on. Mixer. Resample quality, it really don't matter, honestly. I just have mine at 512. I don't notice no difference. I honestly couldn't tell you about no difference. You see me? Preview mixer track, don't know what I do. Never trouble it. Play truncated notes and transport, don't know what I do. Never trouble it. It just always on. Move over to general. From the top and down. Main GUI system, pop-ups, main. Toolbar scaling, main. Transparent windows on. Animations, entertain me. Typically it's set to make it pretty. I just put it to entertain me because I like it. Smoothing, I typically left that in the center. Turn on everything over here up on the right side. Basically, it's all about graphics. And some stuff is to do with stability. Undo history. I think by default, let's say, it there 100. Where you do your left click and just drag up and continue drag up until it reach 999. That's the maximum amount where you can undo. Now I'm going to show you something what useful, but what I mean I like about undo. So if we go over here so up on the mixer, right? If me move 15 or let's say move some fader, I'm gonna undo that. I can't do it. I press Ctrl Z, but I can't do it. So if I turn on undo knob tweaks and go up to current project and go history, notice there's no point. But once I start move a fader, notice you start to see things that pop up under there. So now I can undo fader movement. You know what I mean? But the problem with that, right? Let's say you're up on the mixer and you build a pattern. And you have, let's say you just have a bag of things up there, so boom, 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 and you have some shit all out over the place. But in between, every time you put on a note, you might make a one change to a panning or whatever, or you might change a volume, you see me? And then the sound, you know, like the volume, so you say, oh, Judge, let me just undo it. So then you start going and I wait for the knob them, for the volume start move, but all the while you change the notes them, so now the rhythm starts sound different. I don't turn and undo knob tweaks. If I need to make a volume change, I do it by myself. If I need to turn down the volume, I just go turn down the volume. So that can stay off. Warning messages. Yeah, I never actually go in a yes and change none of this. So this is by default what show up under warning messages. No, mid up on 20.9.1. So I don't know if yours will show something else in like 20.8 or whatever. So I cannot say. Project data size warning. Once your project get over 100 megabyte, it give a warning say, yo, your session big. I just left it at 100 meg. That are the default. I never get a FLP will go up that high. I never get a FLP will higher than probably 30 megabyte, to be honest. Alright, so now, for the mouse, right? If you use a mouse and it have a bag of buttons on it, you have stuff in a FL will utilize that. So you have this thing where say click and hold special gesture. And you have use mouse button in step sequencer. Use mouse button in step sequencer not really that important. Just left that turn on. Then you see GUI input optimize the multi-button mouse. I think by default it's set to multi-touch monitor. So I'm going to change that to multi-button mouse. Now the click and hold gesture, I want to show you some things. And this is why it's important to set up them settings here, is make it help you move fast. So if I grab a hi-hat, right, let's say, just so stretch it out, boom. Let's say I want to cut this hi-hat here, right? So if I want to cut this right now, I would have to go to the knife tool, cut it, go back to the selection tool or the brush and delete it. With the click and hold, turn that on, press right click and hold on it. Brush turn in a knife, cut your clip, turn back in a brush, delete it, go on by your business. You see me? There's also some stuff like if you left click on a clip and hold it, it clone it. That's a click and hold. If I click and hold now, nothing will happen. You see me? So certain like features, I don't know every one of them, but I know some of the important ones. Is them there stuff I'm use all the while. Like if I want to clone a clip, you have a couple of different ways where you can clone a clip. So you can highlight a clip, press Ctrl and B, or you can hold on shift, left click and drag. You see me? Or you can press Alt and I believe C. On Alt and C turn to the knife. So Alt Command and B. Yeah, so I have a couple of different ways. So Alt and C can clone a clip up here though. So if Alt and C here, you can clone anything, and that include plugins or whatever. So yeah, associate projects with this application that I got turn on. And the miscellaneous, this is kind of up to you. These aren't anything like crazy. It's more of like appearance stuff. So this auto zoom in piano roll, basically it's like when I go in at the piano roll, it just zoom into all of the notes. Auto zip empty channels, don't turn that on. You have alternate meter scale, change the metering. So look on this right now, you see 3, 0, 3, 6. So if I turn that on, you see 0, 3, 6. There's no over 0 basically. So we'll keep that off. Come like know when I go over 0. Show startup splash screen. So basically when I start up FL Studio, you see the logo. You can turn that off if you want. I leave that on because me change the logo to my logo. Hide plugin window toolbar by default. So what that is, if you have a plugin up, you see this like on and off button right here. Notice how it turn off the on and off on the channel too. You can turn that off basically. And that's why I say hide plugin toolbar. So that take care of settings. Force high performance power plant, turn that on. Read sample tempo, yes. Auto keep long audio, yes. Fast sample preview, yes. From there, default template. If you want to use a certain template, you can me create my own template, so it load up with a reverb or 2 reverb and a delay. So me use that for mine. Or you have the starter project, which is the empty project basically. So my FL Studio load up with an empty project with nothing in there. You can do that if you want. It's an optional thing. From there, we go to file. this by far the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. Autosave. If you are the type of person where you're like me, where me going to FL and start build a rhythm and get lost and not even save it, and then if you build a rhythm and FL Studio go crash, this is the thing that can save a life. So by default, the autosave thing set to, I believe, occasionally or something like that, or regularly every 5 minutes or something like that. I remember. And the maximum is set to 100. That not gonna work. So we're gonna change that to frequently, every 5 minutes and before risky operation. So basically every time you load a plugin or you do something crazy what can crash FL, it's gonna make an autosave. I'm gonna show you how serious this is. So change that to every 5 minutes and before risky operations. Maximum, we go just drag up until we get to infinite. Just like that. So now, if you locate your autosave, you're going to have a folder over here, so one name backup. I'm going to right click on that and press open and show you how far back my backup folder go. Alright, so here we go. Now, in this folder, we have 11,573 different FLP. Right? This folder goes back to, if we do by date, it goes back to February 10th, 2021. Right? And like I say, 11,000 different FLP. So I could go back and find basically any rhythm on my build in the last year plus easily, isn't it? So it's like I virtually can't lose a rhythm. The only way me lose a rhythm is if me lose this folder, and that's this backup folder is a folder I get backup regularly. And there you have it, 18 gigabytes worth of backup. So me not play when it come to them things. Me not like lose rhythm, and FL Studio is a software will love crash. So you have to take precautions for prevent stuff like that. Outside of that, basically this browser or the extra search folders is basically your drum kits, what show up over here. So that's how you add them on the options, file settings. You just find an empty slot, click on the folder, navigate to a folder on your computer, and then press select folder, and it show up inside the FL Studio over here. External tools. So normally when you open, like if I go in here, so I'm right click and I press edit in audio editor, it open in a Edison, right? You can change that. So I could go and say external tools, and I can go launch file with, and then press default editor, and then change the file. So if I go up on my PC, go in a program files, go VST, or not VST, we go isotope. We're gonna look for like a, let's say like a RX7 or 8 or 9. Any one of them, it really matter. We need to go up on my regular program files. So go isotope again, RX9 audio editor. So if me go in a Windows 64 and press this, and then use that. So now I believe if me, I'm not done this in a while, right click and press opening audio editor, it should launch RX9. There we go. Instead of launching the Edison plugin inside the FL Studio. So we still have audio. No, the thing is that I am not 100% sure. I think the drag and drop thing, I'm not sure. Yeah, see, that's the one thing I'm not sure about. But that's just giving you an option. You have other audio editors out the way you can use outside of Edison. So we're going to turn that off, and we're going to delete this. Yep, so let's clear this out. Boom. So now when we do it, we're going to Edison. Yep, just like that. Cool. Back to file. So that's pretty much all of the settings for here. Troubleshooting, nothing you need for change at all. Project, Set this to 4 numerator, denominator to 4. Info, you can type whatever you want here. It's up to you. You can label up your rhythm or whatever. I don't care for that. And then of course about is just the about window. So now let's go over some shortcuts real quick. So when I am working, let's get a sample. Boom. So let's get a sample. So let's show some things real quick. So let's say we have the sample. We don't know it. Well, the tempo say 124, right? So let's right click, go 120, change this to 124, boom. Some quick things. If you want to stretch this sample here to, let's say, half time, which that would be, I'll make 120, 60. So it'd be 62. You can highlight it, go up to stretch, turn on stretch right here, and change it. So now it's a 62 BPM sample in a 124 BPM. So it's double time. But it don't sound right. That's because the sample mode need to change. So we're going to change it from resample to auto. Now we have. So now it's playing 62 BPM because, like I say, it's in double time and then we'll re-stretch the file. So if we stretch it out fully, which matter about stretch it out fully, turn off stretch and listen to the file all the way out. You can hear the difference in the audio, right? That's cool. That's nothing special. So this is something I'm learning from my dog, Nico. Let's say I work, right, and you find a sample here, but you did like the saxophone or in the folder, but by accident you end up going to one other folder and play one different sample. So you say, oh Jaja, now you remember which kit you did in when you find the piano. Easy way to find it. Double click on the file and this folder icon here, press it, and then navigate right back to the keyboard. Just like that. Also, another quick thing. Let's say I never like the sample here. I'm want to just replace it. You can just drag something, drop it on it, and it replace that file. But let's say you want to go back to the original file. What you can do now is right where you say lead, right click, and press piano. So now we have back the piano. This means you can anything what they did, hi-hat, whatever, whatever you replace, basically, you can go right here and find it. I believe you can either left click. Well, you can't left click, you have to right click. You can go back and find it. Isn't it? Simple. Some quick shortcut. Alt and C, cut tool. Hold on shift and left click, you can cut. Hold on control and left click, you highlight. Alt and B, brush tool. Right click and hold on it. Turn on the knife. Isn't it? When you're in the cut tool, if you left click and drag, you have the knife and you can cut any angle you want. If you hold on shift, you only can cut left to right on the grid. If you hold on alt and shift, you can cut anything where you want, but you can't cut at an angle. You only can cut a straight line. Isn't it? But you can make a micro cut somewhere, isn't it? Alt and B, if you go back to the brush, Alt and P, I believe is zoom out. Yep. No, Alt and P show you your playlist clips. Or, the picker panel, as them call it, on the right side. So shift Alt and P, turn to the pencil. Alt and B, back to the brush. Shift Alt and B to the pencil. I don't use none of them other tools up here. So this mute thing and all of that. If I want to mute a clip, I just highlight it and press Alt and M. Now you notice this clip grayed out when we press over it. Nothing on play. If you hold on Alt and right click, you get the speaker. So now what you can do is you can scroll and listen to audio. So just by hovering over a piece of clip, you play it. In the piano roll, what that can do is, if you hold on Alt, you can go through and audition notes on any single channel in a FL Studio. So if we have, let's say we have this. Notice how we not the in that channel, but we still hear it. Anything. If you hold on pan alt and right click and drag left and right, you can do anything. If you unmute this clip, you go press a Shift, Alt, and C, just like that. Somebody show me something about the grouping. I believe him say if you highlight, like let's say we have a pattern, boom, pattern 1, right? I'll make all of them things, yeah, unique. Make unique. If you highlight, I believe, all of the pattern and press Ctrl and G, you can group all of the pattern them on one playlist track, just like that. You see me? If you want to split them, right click, split by channel. So now we have everything separate. On the mixer, I'm just going to go over the most important stuff for me use. So if you want to link multiple channels to the mixer all at the same time, left click on one channel, Control Shift and L, and you link up different stuff to the mixer. I believe you can undo this in the new version of FLs if you press Control and Z. Okay, so it undo the link, but it don't undo the rename. Cool. So if you change that, hold on Control, left click and drag, hold on Control and Shift when you want to select something that's not next to something, and you can left click and drag, right click, reset tracks to default, everything will go back to gray. Cool. Trying to see any other little things where I might have missed out. Just I try going to the most important stuff for me use, just so when you see me at the certain things in the last, but I believe that is it. If you think of anything else, me put it in the playlist. Yeah, I believe that's it. So until next time, it's your boy Itz-Beez-Da, the TrackStar. Peace.